Okay, so what we're going to try to do here today is come up with a proof of concept for a tablet-based lecture. That is to say, a lecture that the SME can use PowerPoint with and annotate on their iPad or tablet or device, and perhaps even incorporate some video if we can figure out how to do it. So what we're going to do here is go right into the presentation and see what happens. The example that we looked at first was from a Coursera course by a professor at Stanford, and he had this online lecture for machine learning. And some of the things that were really interesting about this lecture is it was presented as a video, and he incorporated some video clips of him sort of speaking to the camera, and then he kind of went through his slides, and as he went through some partially completed slides, he annotated different things as he was speaking about them, which you can see here. So that was one of the things that was really what we were trying to replicate. We were trying to figure out to reverse engineer that to figure out how he actually did it. And so kind of researching it. One of the things that I noticed about the video is when he turned to face his screen, I noticed this tablet right here. You can see it. And basically, I've never seen a tablet like that before. It certainly wasn't an iPad, and I didn't really know what it was, but it was definitely the device that he was using to annotate his slides. So doing a little more Google searching, I actually found out that it was indeed a proprietary piece of software, or piece of hardware rather. So it talks about his tablet recording technology that he developed to instantly display notes for his interactive video. So that was a little bit disheartening, but we had some leads. So I was sort of continuing down the path to try to figure out what exactly we could do to sort of replicate this. In doing that, I found this quote from John Rieger, who's an associate professor of computer science at the University of Utah, and he basically talked about he made this sort of online journal of his experience with Udacity, and he talked about the process that he followed to come up with his lectures online, and he talked about how he put himself in a dark soundproof room with a mic and turned a video camera on and had a program that records the tablet. Now, I didn't really know what that program was. He didn't really say, but the one thing that I thought was really interesting about this quote is he talked about the editors being crucial to what Udacity is doing. And again, if you pause this video and you actually read this little paragraph here, it'll talk about how there was a lot of ums and ands and things like that were edited out to the final product. And I think that's pretty clear if you've done anything in this sort of space in the past. I mean, you can tell that a lot of it is pretty polished. So that was one thing that I thought was interesting, that we're not really going to be able to have something that's completely on the side of the SME. I mean, we're going to have to do some editing, and we're going to have our hands on it a little bit to publish this stuff out. But I thought that was interesting. So what's the workaround? We had a couple ideas, and I did some research on these particular items. The first one was ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow is a lot like Camtasia. It's a very sophisticated application, and it's for a Mac or a PC. And basically, it allows you to do your screen recordings, to add all the different dynamic interface pieces, very much the same as Camtasia, and publish them out as a video. But that didn't really give us the tablet portion of the experience that we wanted. So that one was not a good fit. The next one that we looked at was InkFlow. InkFlow is basically it's a way to annotate PDF documents. You can annotate them. You can put them out on their own IP address, so other people can annotate the documents also. But it didn't use screen recording technologies. I mean, it did, but only for PDFs. So that wasn't necessarily the best option either. So what we found was this app called Explain Everything, and Explain Everything is an iPad app that you can run on your tablet, and it has a bunch of different features. So there's obviously what we've seen with the pen. You can change the pen's colors and annotate different things. There's also a laser pointer, which is sort of interesting. Like I say, you can use it to just sort of circle things as you're speaking about them. So that was kind of cool. You have text options. There's things in here that you can actually type right into this. But basically, it kind of gives us everything we're looking for, with the exception of the video. So what we're trying here is this. We're going to record the iPad with the Explain Everything app. We're going to then incorporate the published files to Dropbox, and Explain Everything actually works, synchronizes with Dropbox, which is pretty nice. So that's actually how you get your PowerPoint files into the app. You basically upload it to Dropbox, and then the app goes ahead and grabs it, and then produces the file in Dropbox. I'm also using a webcam so that I can hopefully add some video to this. If there's no video in the final file that you're watching, that means it didn't really work. And then some sort of video editing software at the very end to sort of mash everything up and publish everything out. And so hopefully that will give us our final presentation. So, like I say, depending on how this looks, depending on how this works, this could be a very viable solution. So we'll see.